Hi, welcome to Revive Group, their place to be to make the tangible connection between your business operation and its financial performance. Did you have a chance to check out our last video? Because what we want to talk about today is a continuation of our discussion from last time. Today, I want to talk to you about value proposition canvas. It's so vital for your business idea to be the right fit for your customers. And the value proposition canvas is gonna give you all you need to bridge that gap on your business model canvas. So let's get to it. In the previous video, we talked about characteristics of a viable idea and how to overcome the uncertainty that is embedded in any entrepreneurship journey by evaluating your business ideas through 3 different filters. Those being feasibility, viability, and desirability. Then we walked you through 9 building blocks of the business model canvas and went through Netflix business model. In this video, we are going to expand, dive deep, and explore value proposition canvas and how you can bridge the gap between your customers and your product or service offerings. Why should you pay attention to value proposition and spend a good amount of time designing one? Many entrepreneurs adopt the idea of build, measure, and learn. While there is nothing wrong with this approach, it is expensive and very time-consuming, especially when you have a physical product. In the learning phase, you will evaluate feedback and mistakes you made along the way and start this process over again. But what if I told you this process can be way more streamlined, systematic, and straight to the point? The fit between what a company offers and what customers want is number 1 requirement of a successful value proposition. The value proposition canvas was initially developed by Dr. Alexander Osterwalder as a framework to ensure that there is a fit between the product and the market. If you look closely, you will see the customer segment on the value proposition canvas correspond to the customer segment on the business model canvas, and also the section that relates to products and services, gain creators, and pain relievers correspond to the value proposition on the business model canvas. Okay, so let's zoom in on the customer segment. The customer segment on the canvas has 3 different sections. One is customer jobs. It's the outcome the customer want to achieve. Then the second one is customer pains from what they do, the bad outcomes they have, the risks or obstacles they experience. And then the next one is customer gains, what customers are trying to get done. If we just zoom a little further on the customer jobs, we have 4 different categories of jobs that every customer faces, namely functional jobs, social, emotional, or supporting jobs. It is highly recommended when you are designing your value proposition canvas and thinking about your customer jobs, try to address more than one job, and that's how your business model will stand out. For example, if you are trying to solve a problem that it's a functional task, try to think about the emotional piece as well, and then try to address that as well, so your business model will be even stronger. Don't worry, we are gonna walk through a very thorough example that's gonna answer all your questions. So the next section is customer pain. So customer can experience different pains, like the outcome that hasn't been addressed, or the obstacles that they face, or the risks that they have to take in order to do the jobs. And then on the customer gains section, you have 4 different categories of gains. Those ones that are required or must have, the ones that is expected, or those gains that are desired. And then the other ones are the surprises or unexpected gains. You can aim at one of these gain categories or consider more than one and surprise your customers with unexpected gains. So there are some golden rules when you're looking at your customer segment. The first one is focus on only one customer segment and don't mix 2 or more customer segments. So if you want to think about more than one customer segments, you're more than welcome to have an extra value proposition canvas. But when you're designing one, try to focus on only one category. The next golden rule is don't focus on functional jobs, which we already touched base on, and we are going to walk through the example, and consider social or emotional jobs too. The next golden rule is list jobs, pain, and gains with an unbiased point of view, instead of having your value proposition in mind when you are designing everything. The next is don't focus only on one or two tasks or one or two jobs, pain, and gains. Try to think as many as possible. And the next, which we always talk about, is be as clear as possible. And then finally, ask why several times until you really understand your customers. Okay, as I promised, we are going to look at Airbnb value proposition canvas and then specifically focusing on their customer segment for now. I'm sure many of you know who Airbnb is, or for those who don't know, at the time of making this video, Airbnb is still a private company planning to offer their stocks through their recent IPO. The company started in 2008, and since then, they have become the greatest peer-to-peer service platform, specialized in housing accommodation with more than $40 billion valuation. Airbnb has two-sided business model, which we talked about in a previous video. Make sure to check that out. And on one side, it serves guests and travelers, and on the other side, it takes care of the hosts. So because it's a two-sided business model and has two customer segments in mind, then it has two value proposition, one for guests and one for hosts. But for the purpose of our examples, we are just going to focus on the travelers or guests. Starting from the customer jobs, the niche customer segment is people that travel for leisure, work, and conferences. Having that in mind, what are the customer jobs? So they want to have a hassle-free and safe booking. They want to find the most suitable accommodation. When they are traveling for leisure, they want to connect to locals or book a holiday home and being able to cook if it's like a family vacation compared to staying at a hotel. They want to have a private and secluded accommodation compared to busy hotel complexes. These are the jobs that they want to achieve. So what are some of the customer pains in trying to do their job? So one of them is too many holiday homes and no easy way to filter and do the booking process. Not sure what is promised is what you get, the pictures always look glorious. Difficult to find the right place for the fair price. And then one of the other pain can be fear of trusting the homeowner and entering a stranger homes. So these can be the customer pains. On the other hand, what they are trying to get done, or the customer gains, are they just want to experience the local. They want to easily compare holiday homes. They want to be able to share the search with their travel companions if they are traveling in a group or with a bunch of friends. Now you have a better understanding of the customer segment, so let's see what the value proposition section is and what it presents. The first one is the product and services. If you have a physical product, it's an intangible product like patent, or it's digital or financial. The next part of the value proposition is your pain relievers. How can you ease the customer's pain? And then the gain creators, how your product and service create gains for the customers. Same as the customer segments, golden rules, we also have some golden rules for the value proposition. The first one is focus only on product and services that relates to the customer segment you already selected. Don't think about other product and services that they don't relate to customer segment, because there is no point. You are wasting your time. The second one is focus on pain relievers and gain creators that directly relate to your customers' pain and gains. And the last one is be honest and don't try hard to address every customer pain and gain. No value proposition does that. So as you can see, all these golden rules are trying to support you and help you to bridge that gap and create the fit between your product or services and what customers want. Going back to the Airbnb example, now we are going to expand on their value proposition section. So the product and services that they offer is basically an online platform to make bookings. So they offer seamless and hassle-free booking experience. Every host and guest, they have detailed profile and reviews, so you can basically trust them. And the platform also has sections that you can see what sort of activities you can do in a city. Looking at their pain relievers, let's see if their idea and their product can actually alleviate some of the pains that we just talked about. So the platform basically vet the hosts so that the trust can exist. They guarantee for quality accommodation because they have already done that vetting process. Again, the detailed profile and reviews can give you that peace of mind. And then cutting the middleman to offer more reasonable prices. That will basically guarantee that you get a fair price and fair value. And then let's look at their gain creators and see if they have created the fit. Basically, they have created the online platform to make bookings, so it's easy, seamless, hassle-free, and then there is a match between homeowners and travelers. So as you can see, going through the customer paying, gains, and jobs for Airbnb, you can see the product and services they created and the platform that they are offering corresponds with all the customer segment that they have focused on, and that's why they are such a successful company. Next, we want to talk about the characteristic of a great value proposition. How can you have that to be able to form and build a successful business, or in case if you have a business already and you're just reviewing your business model, this is a great place to start. So a great value proposition focuses on most important customer jobs. If you focus on little jobs and the jobs that don't matter to the customer, how can you create value? Focus on extreme pains, because then you will be the winner. I really want to come to you to get rid of my pains because you know how to solve that. And the last is focus on must-have gains. I know you can surprise your customers when you focus on their unexpected gains, but I should have the must-have first to be able to go and then look at the surprises. Also, focus on unsatisfied jobs, unresolved pains, and unrealized gains. So we want to treat our customers in a way that they haven't been treated before. And our job or our mission is to create value. I know, I think I have repeated creating value like over 100 times, but that's really the purpose. And finally, does your value proposition differentiate from any competition in a meaningful way? Have you had any competitive advantage, or did you just tweak other competition just a little bit? Does it outperform your competition, and is it difficult to copy? When you have a business in technology, like being able to be difficult and hard to copy is very important compared to when you are running a service business. Finally, it's time to put it all together and create the right fit. Let's go back to the canvas and look at it in its whole entirety. So on the right hand side we had the customer segments, and on the left side we had the value proposition. The whole purpose was for the gains that the customer is looking for, you have gain creators, and for the pains that the customers have, you have pain relievers, and for the customer jobs you have the products and services that you offer. Imagine if you think you created the fit. So what's the next step? The next step for you is to test your fit, to realize if what you imagined is absolutely true. If your product's pain reliever or gain creator doesn't address customers' pains and gains, your product is not creating any values for customers. Going back to the fit, there are 3 stages of fit. One is problem solution fit. The next one is product market fit, and the ultimate goal is business model fit. Your idea and your business model basically goes through these 3 different stages of fit to be able to see if it ticks all the boxes. You might ask, what if you can't find a fit on your first try? So let's imagine you have created your business model canvas, you have gone through all this trouble, thinking, brainstorming of designing your value proposition, and when you test your fit, you're like, oh my god, I don't have any fit between what I offer and the customer segment. What should you do? The answer is really easy. Redesign, test, and repeat this process again until you finally find a fit and you are confident that the fit exists. Because you remember, finding the fit is the number 1 requirement of a successful value proposition and then subsequently successful business. Now let's go one step further and look at different methods of designing your value proposition. Any of the business model building blocks apart from customer segment and value proposition can inspire or direct you to come up with ideas. Your channels of communication, your cost structure, your revenue model, key activities, all those blocks can inspire you to come up with an idea for your value proposition and to build a successful business model out of it. So you don't have to always start with the customer segment, but remember, your business model must always address customer jobs, pains, and gains. And how can you think outside the box when you are designing your value proposition? Try to uncover a new unsatisfied customer job. Like think about Amazon. what was our unsatisfied customer job? Like one of the biggest one was delivery, and that's how they created Prime membership. Or think about how can you turn a new regulation to your advantage, like a tax regulation or something in terms of like import or export regulation. And if you already have a business, think about how a cost overhaul can lower your prices, and you will have a new angle to start and design your value proposition. There are two common ways of designing your value proposition: push versus pull. The push value proposition design starts with the innovation, technology, or idea you already have, and then you try to link that with customer jobs, pain, and gains. So in this case, you already have the solution, but then you are looking and searching for the problem. In the pull value proposition design, you start with your customers and look at your customer segment and focus on their high value jobs. And what do we mean by high value jobs? We mean important, tangible, unsatisfied, and ultimately lucrative. And then from there, you build your value proposition and you offer the solution. And always remember, value proposition is to create value for your customers, and business model is to create value for your organization. So these two concepts really go hand in hand. In our next video, we are going to talk about business model environment and what are the external factors that really impact your business model. And then we will show you different ways to test your business model, because testing is important. It gives you a lot of feedback, and based on that feedback, you can decide if you have to go back and redesign everything. So if you have a business idea or you already have a business and you want to improve your business practices or business model, make sure to get in touch. We offer free consultation session. And until then, make sure to subscribe to our channel, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you.